Good morning and welcome to the British Columbia Soccer Association Women's A Provincial Cup Final. I'm Tom Johnston with Katie Hamilton. And Katie, we've got a great game on our hands today between Gorge FC, team sales from just outside Victoria, against Coastal FC from South Surrey.
We do. It's very exciting. We're out here at Swan Stadium. It's going to be a good matchup today with both Gorge and Coastal. Gorge coming over from the island and then Coastal here local. So, yeah, I think we're going to have a good match.
Absolutely. And, of course, Gorge won the double on the island. They were both Lower Island Women's Soccer Association Premier Division champions. They also picked up the cup on the island. Coastal, a little bit of a different path to get here. Finished mid-table, but they've gotten hot here in the Provincial Cup, and now both teams with a chance to take the field here at Swangard.
Absolutely, and Gorge has gone undefeated their whole season, which is awesome. And then Coastal is missing their captain, Emily, due to being at Princeton for graduation this weekend. So they will be missing their captain. But I think both lineups, they look amazing, and I think we're going to have a good matchup today.
Absolutely. So one to look forward to today, and we'll get to the action in just a few moments. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Tom Johnston here with Katie Hamilton here at beautiful Swangard Stadium on Provincial Cup Final Sunday. And I use the word beautiful rather loosely today, Katie, because it is absolutely pouring rain. And do not adjust your screens. It is, in fact, May, even though it might feel like March or even October. But we've got a great game ready to go here in the Women's A Final. It's going to be Coastal FC from in beautiful South Surrey and Gorge FC from beautiful Victoria. Katie, what are you looking forward to today?
Yeah, it's like you said, it's rainy out there, but the pitch looks well. I'm just excited to see these two teams match up tonight. I think we have a good lineup out there, and I'm ready for some action.
So we'll have the anthems coming up right now, and then we're ready for kickoff. So the teams will shake hands. It's Coastal in the all-blue kit and Gorge FC in the black and white stripes, a la Newcastle FC or Juventus FC. And a very experienced referee crew today. They're wearing the orange kits. There was a time where the referees only wore black, but many fun-colored kits for the referees now to express themselves with. So we'll have the coin toss here, figure out which way each team's going, and we'll be back with you when we're ready for kickoff.
Okay, so the teams are taking to the pitch.
Final preparations all complete. One last photo for the Coastal FC team. A lot of smiling faces now. Unfortunately, only one of these teams can be smiling at the end of the day, though, I suppose.
Gorge FC with the first ball. Starting off for kickoff. And we are off. Gorge FC with the ball first.
And it'll be interesting to see which of these two teams can adapt to the field conditions the quickest. We mentioned the rain already, but of course this is a rather large playing surface here at Swangard Stadium, and it's also grass, which is, as we know in BC, not something the teams play on every week.
Coastal with the ball, moving it up the left side of the pitch. Cross in. Bobble in the front. Goalkeeper comes up with it.
Looks like the flag did go up for offside as well. The referee is going to play it on, but I think you can see right away there, perhaps that is the conditions playing into it, as Blakely just couldn't hold on to the ball there in the Gorge net. So we'll see if we see more of that today.
Gorge taking it down the left wing. Cross into the box, headed away by Coastal.
And another offside flag. Can't blame these teams for being rather eager today. It is a cup final. Everybody wanting to get off to a good start, no doubt.
Coastal out from the back. Gorge ball into the middle there. A giveaway at half to Coastal.
It looks like space in the middle of the park is going to be at a premium today. There's another interception.
Out left by Gorge. Driving in the middle. There's a cross blocked out for a Gorge corner kick.
Now, first set piece of the game. Again, not to harp on these conditions too much, but we'll see what Jovan Sandhu in the Coastal net can come up with here. If she's going to come out and get aggressive, try to catch this ball, or maybe leave it to her defenders to deal with.
Cross coming in, short cross, tipped in. Played out, back to the top. Cross is in. Easy save for Coastal.
Yeah, good hands there from Sandhu, but I think on the first corner you saw again a little bit of a miss kick, the ball skipping along the turf. So you'd hate to see this game decided on a misplay because of the wet surface, but both teams are clearly going to have to adapt.
Turnover for Gorge. A wide ball laid down to the middle. Offside flag is up.
It's well defended, though, by Coastal. They looked like they were back and ready to deal with it. That's number 17, Kiana Chisco, at the back. She was right up into that tackle. Proper defensive clearance. Saved by the offside flag, but looked like she had things under control regardless. A ball out for a Coastal throw here on the near side. Ashley Burgess giving chase down this left wing. Gorge in transition here. Burst of speed from Kilby. She's going to get a throw out of that. Of course, Katie, you know this Gorge team well. You're an Island native yourself, and you're involved with Gorge a little bit.
Yeah, so Kiara Kilby is the league's top scorer over on the island. So it'll be interesting to see how she comes up today.
She'd certainly be happy to be the league's top scorer, or the province's top scorer in a final. Gorge again looking for a little bit of room in the middle of the park. What can they engineer here? That ball won't find Kilby, but the wet grass might keep it in play. It's going to have just enough. A good curling shot there. Needed the sweepers to get that one over the line. So as you mentioned there, Katie, Gorge are the champions of the island. They got the island's top scorer. And it's been a long time since the island has lifted this trophy. As people may know, we're celebrating the 40th awarding of the Women's A Cup this season.
Yeah, you know, it's a good return for the Gorge Premier team. There's been times that we've just had the Women's Div 1 team. So to have a competitive Premier team back here at Gorge and on the island is quite impressive. And they did go undefeated during the season up to this tournament.
And obviously undefeated in the tournament as well if you're going to make a final.
Absolutely.
Of course, Gorge as a club is one of the only island teams to have won the Women's A Cup before. Way back in 1995. In fact, that's the last time a team from the island won the cup. It was Gorge FC in 95. The only other team from the island that lifted the trophy was from James Bay back in 1984. So it's been few and far between for the island. The mainland has really had a hold of this trophy. Gorge looking to change that today, though, and the island was very successful yesterday. Hope you joined us for that out at Burnaby Lake West Sports Complex with the Island League picking up a couple of titles. Cowichan Cougars winning the Women's Classics B Provincial Cup, and the B team here for Gorge picking up the Women's Provincial B Cup in a dramatic shootout victory. So Gorge hoping to carry that momentum from the island forward into today. A little bit of a delay here while we track down the ball. We do have some brave ball volunteers out there, ball kids from Coastal FC. Can't really fault them, though, for not being the most eager. Again, the rain here is relentless. This is Burgess. She'll try her luck, looking towards that back post. Just too far for anyone to catch up to, and just wide of the far post. Blakely going long into that midfield. Greg, the Gorge striker, was looking to get involved, but instead it's Coastal who have wrestled it away, and they're back on the attack. It's a through ball. Oh, perhaps some contact there from the Gorge defender, but in the end it's a great save by Blakely. That was Gabe Gillings bursting through for Coastal, getting that shot away. It's a sister act out there for Coastal today with Gabe Gillings, number 43, and her sister Liv Gillings, number 12, and it'll be Liv to take this corner.
Yeah, it was good movement out from the back, sending that ball through, which started that whole play.
But in the end, it's a great save by Blakely. Here's the delivery. Comes through to the back post. No, nobody gambling for Coastal there. We'll settle for a throw-in instead, but perhaps they'll feel they could have made more of that opportunity. They'll come down the far side again. Crossing the box for Parmar, and she's done it. The opening goal in the women's A Cup final goes the way of Coastal FC. It was some nice build-up down the right wing. The cross came into the box. And the center forward, Parmar, rising highest, doing a center forward's job, nodding that home. Blakely with no chance in the goal for Gorge. Well, certainly not the start Gorge would have been hoping for, to be behind so early. Let's see if they have an answer. Burgess takes it away, and Parmar gets Coastal going again. I think Coastal have had perhaps the lion's share of the ball. It's certainly been a little bit more attacking to start this game. And Gorge will have to adapt now, being behind. A Gorge team that you say, Katie, is not used to trailing this year.
They're not. You're correct. They have been undefeated during their season. So this is a good competition for them. Great ball, great header goal for Coastal.
Gorge with a chance to answer. Into the box, the flag stays down. And indeed they have answered. We talked about the pace that Kilby had out on the right wing for Gorge. She's used it well, cut into the middle, and this time, in almost a carbon copy of the goal Coastal scored, a cross in from out wide. Kilby's there to head it home. No chance for Sandu. And forget the lead, it lasted a mere few minutes. It's 1-1.
Yeah, that was a great comeback by Gorge. Very similar, like you said, to the play that Coastal just scored on the header goal. But Kiara Kilby still going on strong with getting her goals and leading this team.
Well, she was the island's top scorer, and she's made it count here in the final. You always wonder how different players will react to being in a final. It's a big stage, but I think the nerves are gone now for both teams. A couple of early goals. It's just a football match now as Burgess chases this one. Working on Lescue. Looking again for Parmar. Gorge will do enough. Last thing they want to do after fighting their way back into it is go behind again immediately. Mute there. Okay, apologize there. We may have had a few audio issues to sort out, but I believe we're back with you as Coastal takes over. The goal scorer, Parmar, with Shergill. All right, still working out a few gremlins in the audio there, but hopefully the Wizard Tech team here has got us squared away and we can focus again on the action here for you. This is Greg. Krautner will chase this one. She's go over to shepherd her out. Let's see how she does one-on-one. Still Greg. Nice move there. And Coastal defending in numbers to get that away, but it's not quite clear. And never a bad idea, again, in these conditions to test your luck from range. Skip one along the ground, but Sandu able to collect. This is Chisco. Shergill can't quite keep hold of it, and Lesky will take over. Well won by Burgess. Can't get Coastal going forward, though. Both teams, I think, perhaps all right to just take a breath here after a frantic pace in which they exchanged early goals. Might be nice to just settle in and keep the ball for a bit. Gorge will build from the back again. Their goal scorer, Kilby. Son gets his restarted. Not sure that one came in. I'll give her a chance to do it again. It'd be a little bit difficult to keep hold of the ball in these conditions. Shergill with Parmar. 2v2 at the back here. It's the Gilling sisters both attack. Liv stays on side. But there's those conditions again. It's the grass look to eat her up.
Great play down the wing. Unfortunate to take that stumble there. She had one wide open in the middle, ready for the cross.
She's back on her feet, trying to get back on side, but the reprieve's giving Gorge a chance to get hold of the ball. Martland will collect in the left corner. Ball out wide for Kilby. Certainly you would think at this point Coastal have to have identified her as a threat as she goes on a run here. Takes on one defender, takes on two. And it does look like Chisco got a foot to the ball there just at the death, so it will be another corner for Gorge.
Great run from Kilby there, just taking on three defenders, getting the corner out of it. You can really see her confidence coming through, especially after that goal. Always tough to fall behind in a final, but if you're going to fall behind, the best response is to equalize immediately. They look off the short option. And Sandu again, safe hands. Gorge have won it back here in a promising position. Looking for Greg at the back post. I think she might have been offside anyway. We'll never know though, as that was a little too tall for her. It should say that both these teams beat the 2019 finalists respectively on their path here to the Provincial Cup final. Of course, it's been 3 years since we've had a chance to host this tournament here with BC Soccer, and we're certainly happy to be back. The weather conditions are less than ideal, but just nice to be back playing soccer as regularly as possible in these times. Coastal looking to reclaim their lead. Not finding a way through the midfield on that occasion. Greg rides the challenge. Looking for some support. She squares it for Tetson. Martland. It's a hopeful ball forward. Might work. Second ball falls to Greg. She'll try her luck from range. That looks like a pattern we're seeing today, Katie. Both teams
fancying themselves from distance. Again, maybe it's something to do with the conditions, just hoping to get maybe a bounce or a spill from the goalkeeper.
It is, you're right, Tom. And it looks like they're leaving the wings quite open, especially on that left side there for Krautner to walk in. But they are taking long-distance shots as opposed to bringing it in.
Butler and Parmar getting reacquainted. I think we'll see more of that battle. And here it is, right here again, between the defender and goal scorer for Coastal. Well, it's stolen by Greg. She's got support to her left in Krautner. Again, that's Kilby lurking at the back post. Will the cross make it through to her? Stabbed away by Sign. A little bit of last-ditch defending. It'll be another corner. Gorge seeming to take control here after falling behind early. I think Coastal, it's fair to say, had the better start. But since they fell behind, Gorge have really mounted a strong pushback. They've tied it and now looking to take the lead. Here's the delivery. Headed away by Gruel. Coastal looking to counter now. Parmar. Well defended by Butler. She'll get it to Greg. There's a Coastal player down on the deck. Referee happy to play it on. Greg in another battle. And this time we'll have the whistle. Greg looks like she's going to be an absolute force up there today, and the Coastal defenders are struggling a little bit to deal with her physicality. Doesn't look like we'll need any extra treatment. And a nice round of applause for Gruel there, as looks like she'll be okay to continue. So not a free kick, the referee's just going to drop it. Back underway. This is Chesko. Shergill, great ball. Can Gillings catch up to it? No, Blakely's alive to the danger and quick off her line. Fairbairn. Chesko through the middle. Gabe Gillings. Sign. Working with Shergill on this near side. Back for Gruel. Good midfield battle between her and Baird there. Gruel gets it through to Gillings, asking Parmar to chase it, but that one's going to be just a little bit too much. And once again, there's Parmar's shadow Butler there to take the ball away. Sign gets us started quickly. This is Shergill. Butler looking long. Nobody there for Gorge, though, and it's Gruel to pick up the pieces. Comes for Lescue. Neither team really keeping hold of it just at the minute here. See if Coastal maybe decide to try and build one out of the back. Morano. Of course, Katie, there are a couple of players missing for this one. No one likes to miss a final, but a couple of key players out of the lineup today. Yeah,
we are missing quite a few, with starting with Gorge there. We have Jacqueline Sawacki, who is out of town playing with her other team out in Australia. And we also have the captain of Coastal, Olivia Shepard. She is from Princeton, and she's actually her graduation weekend, so she will be missing this match for graduation.
So both teams missing a key cog. but we've got a great game here regardless. Just past the halfway mark of the first half. All square as the teams exchanged quick goals just around the quarter-hour mark. Since then, it's settled in somewhat. We'll see who can re-establish a lead for Coastal or take a first lead for Gorge. Shergill gets going north. Looks for Parmar, who was just a step offside. That's got to be frustrating as a teammate when the striker is looking right across the line and still manages to drift offside. But you see it at every level. Blakely for Krotnar. Got 2 to aim for. Taking on Fairbairn. Forces her inside. Good team defending there by Coastal. I was going to say, it looked like Parmar was coming back from offside again there. Flag has gone up again.
It's a good run from Katie Krautner out there. She's quite impressive on the 1v1 and dangerous in that aspect. Coastal played them well in blocking the shot, though.
And that front three for Gorge looking rather fierce. You can tell why they were undefeated all season. The trio of Kilby, Gregg, and Krotnar. They can go wide or they can come at you through the middle. This is Lescue. Transition opportunity here for Coastal. 3v3 if they go quick. Shergill looking wide for Parmar. Who else but Butler there to intercept? She's found Gregg and Gorge rather get going forwards now. Martland and Krautnar down the left side. Great move by Krautnar. She gets the cross in. Sign on hand to keep it away from Blakely. Second chance opportunity, or Kilby rather, check that. Second chance opportunity drifts high and wide.
Great move by Krautner out on the left. Like I said, she is quite dangerous out there, and they're leaving her quite a bit of space on that left side there as well for the left fullback to take some space. So it'll be interesting to see how Coastal reacts to that.
Certainly right now looking like Coastal happy to sit in a little bit and try and hit on the counterattack, whereas Gorge have decided that perhaps their joy is going to come from these wide opportunities, getting crosses into the area. Chesko looking long. But it's for Gregg. That ball's going to run through. The referee's not going to play the advantage. Instead, we're going to see our first yellow card of the day. So it looked like Morano went in the book there for her challenge on Kilby. Felt maybe the referee could have let that one run out. Baird had latched onto it, or had a chance to at least in the box, but Gorge will settle for the set piece here, and definitely a shooting situation here.
Yeah, I agree with you, Tom. It could have been played on, but a good call by the ref to let him take the kick.
Krautnar leaving it for Gregg. She'll lining it up on the left foot here. 4 in the wall for Coastal. And that wasn't too far away at all. I think Gregg more or less got it where she was aiming, but wanted to bring it down, I think, another yard or so. Nevertheless, another great opportunity for Gorge, who, again, have been in the ascendancy for the last 10 or so minutes.
They have. Ever since they got that equalizing goal, they've really turned it up a notch. Coastal trying to find that. They're working out from the back well, but Gorge is really having the pressure here.
As we said at the time, a Gorge team not used to going behind, perhaps a little bit shell-shocked, but they've responded well. And now that goal, it looks like, really has given them the belief that they can go on and make this game their own. Kilby again. Gorge wrestle it away. Butler. This is Martland. You can tell her and Krautner really enjoy playing together. They have good chemistry. This time inside for Greg, though. She'll turn a defender. Ooh, looking for Baird there. It's just behind her, but again, you can see the problems that the size and physicality of Greg is causing these Coastal defenders today. Out wide for Krautner. Again, she'll run at the defenders. And she's found Kilby at the back post. Can she get this one under control? It comes through to Greg. And what a great, desperate intervention there by Chesko. As it looked like Gorge had their goal at their mercy. Once again, that coming from the speed and guile and creativity of Krautner. Greg will assume the set piece duties. Cleared only as far as Krautner. Greg wide again. Has she gotten back onside? She has. Hint of a handball there in the control. Flag stays down.
Good hustle there to keep it in by Greg.
It looks like Coastal might be going to the bench here. You can understand why. It's been all Gorge since they tied it up. And they will make that change. So coming in, it's going to be number 8, Maddie Yakimovic. And looks like she'll replace Sign here on the left side, playing left back. So her assignment clearly to come on and deal with Kilby, I think. In the meantime, Greg trying to generate another opportunity, but Coastal with a chance to break. Goal scorer, Parmar. And this time the whistle goes, but that's certainly a characteristic of Gorge's game. Not afraid of the rough stuff a little bit. Happy to get physical, and for the most part, it's been working out well for them as they seem to be winning the 50-50s more often than not against Coastal.
Yeah, Gorge isn't giving Coastal too much time there in the middle of the field. Love to see Coastal just keep the ball, play it nice and straight. Another giveaway there, unfortunately.
There's Yakusovich, a little bit tough. Her first involvement turns into a turnover, and here come Gorge again. This is Tetson. I think not what she was looking for there on that through ball. Looking for Krautner, but I think Krautner would have preferred it played out a little wider so she could show off those wheels. Coastal look like they're caught in two minds a little bit here, whether they want to keep hold of it, try to establish some rhythm, or whether they want to look for that deadly pace on the counterattack. This is Shergill. Butler's not going to let that one get through to Parmar.
It was a good attempt. Good defense by Butler.
And they've turned it over again, Gorge, and here they come. Krautner. Greg, looks like she stayed onside. Necessary intervention there again by Morano. Greg will collect out wide. Shadowed by Fairbairn. Scott. She's gotten away from the defender. She'll defer to Krautner. Here's the cross. Dealt with by Jillings. Parmar waiting for some support. She'll use Shergill on the left. Jillings, I think, trying to find Parmar, but instead it's Gorge who get control again. And here they come with Krutner on that left side. Taking on Fairbairn. Nice move. Tries to go around her. That's well defended. Fairbairn will settle for the throw.
Coastal again without Jasmine Manager today for the match. She's a Canadian Women's National Team performance analyst, so I'm sure we're missing her out there today on the pitch.
This is Greg. Krutner with another chance. Check that, that's Martland. And she's done enough to earn a corner. Well, with 10 minutes to halftime, certainly Gorge wanting to press their advantage now. See if they can't get their noses in front before Coastal perhaps have a chance to regroup at the break. Kyra Tietzen will do the honors from this side for Gorge. That's right into the mixer. Headed clear, but not out. Gorge will try and recycle it. Martland for Tietzen. Ranging ball forward. It'll come through to Kilby. Checks it for Greg. When it just wouldn't settle for anyone for Gorge there.
Gorge doing a great job of moving the ball on the attack.
Chance for Jillings to run now. Looking for Parmar, but that ball was played behind her, and Butler will collect that with ease. Yakusovich. Parmar and Jillings combining. Gabe looking for her sister Liv. Martland will deal with that. A little bit of a collision there. One of those accidentally on purpose bumps perhaps from Liv Jillings. But that does perhaps belie a little bit of frustration here for Coastal. Again, they took that early lead. They certainly started the brighter of the two teams and looked like maybe they could even run away with this one, but it was just the one goal, and since that goal, that really seemed to wake Gorge up, and it's been all Gorge since then. So you can understand maybe a little bit of frustration in the Coastal ranks at the minute.
It is. Gorge isn't giving them much time out there. There's someone on them. There's always maybe two that are checking, especially in the middle of the field there. Hard for Coastal to get it going.
Gorge definitely the foot in for every ball. Tietzen will get them going forward again. There's some room out here on the right. Is that ball going to check up on the grass? Not quite. Again, I do think Gorge adapted the better to the field conditions as well today. It is a very large, it's a wide field, and that plays right into the hands of the likes of Krutner and Kilby. They've turned it over again. Good pressure by Gorge. Coastal managed to take it back. Yakusovich. Looking for Shergill. That's not going to get there. Here come Gorge. Greg asking Kilby to do a job. Asking him a bit too much. Good defending by Yakusovich. That's why they've brought her on here in the first half.
She sure has been strong on that left fullback since she's come on and made that change.
And a bit of a defensive miscue. Is that going to open it up for Liv Jillings? And she's going to be judged to have committed the foul there. So a rare misread by the Gorge defense. They've been rock solid so far, but that almost created the opportunity for Jillings, and that would have, you'd have to say, come against the run of play. But here come Gorge again. This is Kilby. She'll take it herself. Wonder if, yes, she just waited a little too long on that pass through to Baird. She's straight offside. Caught in two minds. I think Kilby's preference would have been to take on the defender, but by the time she realized maybe the pass was a better option, Baird had straight offside. Once again, Coastal struggling to keep hold of it at the back. A really great organization from Gorge here. Coastal just cannot get into a rhythm. This is Greg. This one's onside. Flag saves down for Krautnauer. Again, that's well defended, but they've turned it over. Greg on that left foot takes a deflection, and that's going to find the back of the net. It certainly has been coming for Gorge. Liz Gregg's had chances already. This time she gets the shot through. It has to be said there was a large deflection that took it out of the hands of Sandhu, but a deserved lead for Gorge.
It was a great ball. That pressure by Gorge, the turnovers. I mean, Coastal, I'd love to see him just hold on to the ball, play it out of the back to each other, but Gorge is just, they're on fire out there, just hunting for that ball.
So 5 minutes before halftime, before Coastal could get in and maybe readjust, change the tactics, Gorge take the lead. We'll see how Coastal respond. Gorge responded fantastically from going behind. Can Coastal do the same? Or can Gorge find another here before halftime to really turn the screw? Gillings for Parmar. Instead it finds Kilby. Another opportunity for Gorge. Great patience by Kilby. Ooh, and her and Greg just weren't on the same page. Butler, she'll start another attack. Lescue with room to roam. Plenty to aim for. There's blood in the water for Gorge. They can smell the chance to really stamp their authority on this game. And Gorge take it back again. Very straightforward. Coastal simply cannot keep hold of it at the minute. Maybe Parmar can. Nope, she turns it over as well. And a great foot in there by Jesko. Otherwise, Kilby was off to the races. This is Kilby working on Yakusovich. Gets a yard of space, gets the cross in. It's knocked down by Moreno. Only as far as Baird. Again, this desire from Gorge to win the ball back every time they lose it. Chance for Tietzen, and that's just why. But Coastal are on the rocks here. There's no question about it. They just can't get out of their own end.
Coastal's Moreno in the center back. She's been doing quite well. She's had a few blocked shots, a few head-away balls, but she's been strong back there for Coastal.
And one of the reasons the scoreline is what it is. Otherwise, Gorge might well be further ahead. That's a great foot in by Shergill, working on Butler. Does she have the pace to get past her? Shergill keeps it in. Can Coastal sting back here? Looking for Parmar, and it was just agonizingly out of her reach. But that is the danger Coastal's possessed. We've seen it all half. They do have that threat on the counterattack.
Great chance by Coastal. I wish they had someone coming in from the back there to tap it in, but let's see if they can really take this momentum and get some offensive punch.
Chance for Coastal to keep the ball here as they look to tie things up before the break. Burgess. Space to her right. This is Fairbairn. One for Yakusovich to chase, but she won't get there, and the omnipresent Butler clears for Gorge. Liz Gregg, the go-ahead goal, looking for Krautner. Yeah, a little bit of a shove in the back there, well spotted by the referee. Waiting to see on the fourth official's board how much injury time, if any, we're going to have here in the first half. Looks like 1 minute. One added minute, and we're into that now. This is Gillings. Liv Gillings on her left foot. Comes to Shergill. Finds Gillings. All day for the cross to Burgess. Well defended again by Gorge. Fairbairn can't keep hold of that one, and it's a bit of a let off for Gorge there as Coastal finally with a little bit of pressure at the forward end of the pitch.
Yeah, it's been a good press by Coastal. Gillings out there with the run. Very nice. Let's hope they can keep it up and also move this into the second half.
And as we approach halftime, Katie, what stood out to you in this first half?
I think what really stood out to me is just how fast on the ball Gorge is. I think that they're very dangerous up there as we see this ball get played in.
That's right. Baird looking to turn the corner. Jesco's done enough, though. And now would be a fantastic time for a second, but I think we're approaching that halftime whistle.
Right, Tom. And Coastal came out of the game pretty quick, right? They got that goal right away, that beautiful header goal. And then just after that, Gorge came back, got that shot away, and just really took control of the game.
Absolutely, and that was the story of the first half as it comes to a close with the score at halftime. Gorge FC Team Sales 2, Coastal FC 1. We'll be back with the second half. And welcome back to the BC Soccer Women's A Provincial Cup Final here at Swangard Stadium. Tom Johnson and Katie Hamilton with you in the broadcast booth. And after an entertaining first half, Katie, it's the Gorge FC Team Sales from the island who lead Coastal FC from the mainland 2-1.
Yeah, Tom, Coastal came out good right out of the bat. They scored the first goal in a beautiful header shot. Gorge came back about two minutes later, got a header goal to tie it up, and then came back again to score that one to take the lead. But during that middle part, Gorge just kind of took over. They were fast in there. They didn't give Coastal much time, and they really took most of the opportunity and took most of the possession in play. At the end there, we did see Coastal come around. They had a good couple chances, so I'm hoping that Coastal can continue that momentum into the second half and start off strong here.
100%. I think you're bang on there, Katie. It was a great start for Coastal. It looked like they might even run away with this one, but once Gorge fell behind, that they showed that perseverance, that drive that has led them to the undefeated record we've been talking about so much today, as they really want to make that undefeated record last one more game, and they'll lift the trophy as provincial champions.
Yeah, Kiara Kilby had a great first half. She's quite fast out there on the wing. Going to be interested to see how Coastal can react to her speed, because as we saw in the first half, she's just lightning out there and she's creating those chances with Katie Kreitner on the following left side there. There's good stuff going on.
Halftime, of course, all about adjustments, and looks like both teams are going to make a couple of changes here before we get restarted. Couple subs coming in here for both Gorge and Coastal, as Emma DeWitt and Inra Jauer will join us from Gorge, and for Coastal coming on is Peyton Rowntree and Shania Dinsta. And again, another change at the back for Coastal, because as you mentioned, Katie, they're struggling to deal with the three-headed monster that is Gorge in attack. And that featured Kilby, who you mentioned, as well as Krotnauer and Gregg. Although it looks like Gorge's changes have been up front as well. It looks like it's Baird who's come out for them, and the goal scorer, Gregg. So we're back underway here. Gorge on the front foot. It's Krotnauer looking to build on the great first half she had as well. Still out here on this left wing. And Gorge are onto the offensive. Krotnauer again. She'll get the foul there. Not a lot of contact in it, but perhaps the substitute Rowntree just getting herself acquainted with the game. Looks like it's Shergill and Burgess who have come out for Coastal. And Fairbairn, who was playing right fullback in the first half, has moved into the right wing position. Tietzen swings the ball in. Oh, and that'll get through, and a great chance there. It was the substitute Emma DeWitt coming in at the back post, and maybe just a little bit cold coming off the bench, because she certainly had a chance there to extend Gorge's lead.
She did. That was a great ball played in there.
And Gorge have it back again. That was the story of the first half. Great tackle there, though, by Fairbairn. Looks to be relishing her opportunity to get a little bit further up the field. The Coastal goal scorer, Parmar. And we apologize again. We're working these audio issues out here today. Hopefully we'll have them ironed out the rest of the way here. And of course, do please join us as well for the men's A final coming up at 3 o'clock. In the meantime, we were just recapping the substitutes at halftime, and it was Jower and DeWitt coming in for Gorge, with Baird and the current match winner as it stands, Liz Gregg, exiting for the Island side. And for Coastal, Gruel and Burgess were replaced by Rowantree and Radawala. Meanwhile, it's fallen here. Oh, and a fantastic save off the line, but turned in with a sublime piece of skill at the back post by Krautnauer. Kilby had done all the work. It was a fantastic save by Sandu. It looked like it was for all the world going out for a corner kick, but not to Krautnauer with a nifty little back heel. How about that skill?
Kiera Kilby, she's having a great game today. She blocked the cross that Coastal had a few moments ago, and then came down, took on the players. Great shot, great save by the goaltender, but the goalkeeper. But Katie Kreitner there to tap it in. Great goal.
So just the start Gorge wanted. That'll take the wind out of the sails of Coastal, who no doubt came out with a plan after halftime. But the wind very much in the sails of Gorge FC, sponsored, of course, by Team Sales. See if Coastal can have an instant response. There's Fairbairn. She's looking for Parmar. Well shepherded. And defenders don't usually enjoy the limelight too much, but it has to be said that Butler, the center back for Gorge today, has been rock solid ever since Gorge went behind on the cross into the box.
She has. She's been very strong back there. She's commanding the back line. She's communicating very well with all her defenders and her goalkeeper.
The latest goal scorer, Krautnauer. She brings Martland in. Gets it back. Again, you can see the chemistry between those two in the first half as well. Clearly players who have played with each other a lot, certainly this season and perhaps even beyond. Not sure that throw came in. It did. So, again, the conditions, something else we discussed in the first half, Katie, is this just torrential rain. Game feels like it's being played during the winter season, not here at the end of it in May. It is several degrees below the seasonal average. I can tell you the two of us are certainly bundled up here, and we were afforded a little bit of shelter in the broadcast position, but not much. It is chilly. Gillings, and we saw a little bit of frustration out of her in the end of the first half there, with a couple of half chances to maybe get Coastal back into it, but just nothing coming off there as that one from Yakusovich goes out of bounds.
Gorge is really doing well positionally wise. There wasn't much room for Coastal to move, right? She had to lay it back to her defender, which then went out for a Gorge throw, but Gorge is doing well taking up that space in the middle, not leaving much for Coastal.
Here comes Krautnauer. Can she really put this one out of reach? And Coastal do just about enough. Fairbairn. Instead, it's Tietzen. The substitutes combining here as Jawar looks for DeWitt, but settles for the corner.
Gorge just seems to have a little bit extra step on the play here today. Coastal, when they get the ball, they've given it the ball away a few too many times, where the passes just need to be a little bit more crisper.
Right now they're going to have to deal with things defensively as Tietzen looks to swing in another corner. And it comes right through. DeWitt with a great chance again. And that's twice since she's come on at halftime that DeWitt's had a look to just redirect one on goal. She's just missed it. It'll be another corner here, perhaps third time the charm for DeWitt. Safe hands from Sandhu there. Perhaps indeed it was just a little bit of a case of nerves and playing in a big final, because Gorge certainly didn't look like a team that was undefeated all season and league and cup winners on the island when this one kicked off, as it was all Coastal for the first 10 minutes and they got their goal. But since then, Gorge has looked every bit the champions they have been throughout the season, as DeWitt runs after this one. Taking on one, taking on two. That's another look there from Kilby that goes just wide of that far post. She had Sandhu at full stretch, and I don't think Sandhu was getting there if that was on target.
It was a great opportunity. She could have laid it off to the right there. She had a wide open player as well, but great opportunity by Gorge.
Coastal now trying to keep hold of it for a minute here. This is Shergill. Yakusovich. Looks like that one just crept out of play for a throw-in. And we talked about it earlier, Katie, but the island, it's been a little bit up and down for them in the ranks of the top level of women's amateur soccer the last few, well, I was going to say seasons, but really decades, as we discussed that the last time a team from the island came and won the provincial championship was back in 1995. And I dare say that there were only one or two maybe players on this Gorge team that were even alive when they won that championship. As DeWitt looking for a fourth goal to really put this one out of reach. Instead, she gives up a foul.
Yes, it's quite competitive over on the island for women's soccer. The Div 1 is very competitive as well, where I think as the Premier, we might not have as many teams that participate. So you see it at different years of how many teams we do have. And I know for Gorge, it goes up and down and having a Premier team or having a Div 1 team. So this is the first time in quite a while that Gorge has had such a successful and confident women's Premier team.
And they're well in control of this one, and what a great win it would be for the program on the island. Perhaps give the rest of those island teams something to chase after next season. And of course, everybody in BC looking forward to the start of League One BC, which will have, of course, both a men's and women's semi-pro league. And that gets underway next weekend. There will be a team on the island as well. This is Parmar, the Coastal goal scorer. Some lovely work out on the far side. Can we get a cross in? Dinsa's done well. Back to Parmar, to the end line. Plenty to aim for. Oh, and it's snuck in at the far post. So game back on. I'm not sure if that took a deflection. I didn't see one. Certainly from the angle, you'd have to think that maybe it got a piece of something. But for now, it'll go down as a second of the match for Parmar. And it's a one-goal game again.
Unbelievable work by Coastal to work that through. Gorge defenders played them well, but they just out-hustled, got that ball across. And again, it looked like it might have just went straight in or a little tip. Something
like that. It definitely crept in there at the back post. I was going to say that it's just unfortunate there's no one chasing in for Coastal to maybe touch it home, but it crept in right at the post there, and it's 3-2. I have to say as well that the substitute at halftime, Dinsa, who's playing out on the left wing now, she was central in creating that goal. Some lovely footwork, taking on the defenders before deferring to Parmar, who just more or less willed that one into the net. We'll see if Coastal gets a bit of a spark from that. They've got to do the chasing here. That's a great goal and perhaps some momentum, but it's still 3-2 for Gorge.
Still lots of time in the game to play for Coastal to come back and get that equalizer. I think, like I said, it's just key for them to keep those passes on target and passing with purpose to get around Gorge, as Gorge is so strong in the mid and on those 50-50 balls.
This is DeWitt with Krotnar. There's a path to goal here for Kilby. Kilby's moved into the middle of the park now, so she spent the first half out on the right wing. She's now playing in that attacking midfield or number 10 role for Gorge, and I mean, we saw it pay dividends on the goal they scored here in the second half.
I quite liked her on the wing, especially in the first half. She was doing quite well. She was taking on attackers, so it'll be nice to see how she does do in the central field there. We see more of the play kind of on this near side of the field rather than out on the far side. But it'll be interesting to see how Gorge changes around having Kilby in the middle.
Certainly another look for the Coastal defenders to try and come to grips with. Coastal with a bit of a tactical shuffle as well. Liv Gillings now playing alongside her sister Gabe in midfield. Liv spent the first half out on the wing, but Fairbairn coming forward from fullback has taken over that advanced position. So both teams with some slight tweaks as Tietzen tries her luck from range, but that one is well over the net. Well, it's a little bit loose from Coastal at the back, and they'll just cede possession right back to Gorge.
I agree. It's got to be a little bit tighter back there because Gorge just doesn't give him much time, right? Especially Krautner out there on the left. She's attacking fast, so passes just got to be crisp and on.
Krautner will ask DeWitt to get something. He'll just settle for a throw a few yards farther up. Ball in for Martland. Finds its way through. Jauer. For Lescu. Another one for the Gorge attackers to try and make something out of. Instead, it's Coastal on the counterattack. Fairbairn wants it played long. Dinsa maybe taking one or two too many touches there, and the chance just faded. Again, that was another theme we saw in the first half, though, Katie, is that potential for the counterattack for Coastal.
It is, yeah. The play was on. She wanted it, but just one extra touch, and Gorge was there to have it go out for a throw-in.
Just past the hour mark here, and we hope you weren't late coming back from halftime to join us, because if you have, you've missed the teams again exchanging goals already. Certainly not short on offense in this one, as it is currently 3-2 for Gorge FC. What can Coastal do about this? Shergill. She turns Lescu. Shergill with space to come inside on the right foot, and I don't think that's what she had in mind. I think she pictured that going a little bit differently when she wound up for that shot.
She's been quite dominant here in the second half on that far side, taking on the defenders, blowing past them, and using her speed to drive towards the net.
This is Dinsa for Chesko. Coastal will turn it over again, though. Looking for Fairbairn long. Well won by Parmar. She's got support to her right, goes for it herself, and well, tough to blame her after that one snuck in at the far post last time, but not this time, just off target. And a further change coming here for Gorge. It's like it'll be Lescu coming out. And we'll see Baird return to the match. looks like Baird, who played an offensive role in the first half, is going to tuck in at center back. And that's going to move Butler out to the right wing. One for Fairbairn to chase. Almost keeps it in. But even the wet grass couldn't hold that one. So it's an interesting tactical shift. Butler was certainly a force in the center of the park for Gorge. Perhaps they've seen something where they like to have her out on the right side, though.
Well, I think on those past two plays that Coastal have, they've blown past the Gorge right fullback. So I think maybe moving Butler is there to kind of help that out a bit, because Butler is having such a strong game, right? And Coastal is attacking more from the left side. So moving her out there is really going to hopefully even that out for Gorge.
Certainly you have to think that is the plan from the Gorge bench. And a change here for Coastal as well now, as Fairbairn, after a little bit of offensive running here to start the second half, is replaced by Burgess, who returns to the game after an extended break. And she's straight into the action here. Burgess looking to work the cross. It's coming through, well defended. Lands at the back post though. Shergill. My goodness, was that an opportunity there? You could hear the fairly sizable crowd we have on hand here react as that one looked for all the world as though Shergill had the goal at her mercy.
Great opportunity for Coastal. Burgess coming on right away and getting that cross over. She started off the game and she was quite strong up there up front for the start of the game in the first half. So it'll be interesting to see what she can do for this second stint.
Dinsa. Great turn. Finds Gabe Jillings. This is Parmar. Well, that ball is going to be seized upon by Kilby, but a little bit loose in possession there. I'll hand it right back to Coastal, and you can tell Coastal can smell a chance here. So much like in the first half when Coastal had the early goal and then Gorge responded, it's an early goal by Gorge here in the second half, and now that looks like it has spurred Coastal to life.
You're right, Tom. It has quite changed the momentum a bit. Coastal was doing well at winning those 50-50 balls, especially in the middle. It's kind of a role reverse, as before we were seeing Gorge had three defenders on one attacker and winning those balls, but now we see Coastal really getting to them first and making those plays up front.
We'll see if Coastal can carry this momentum and all the way to a tying goal. I'd love to tell you that the rain's letting up, but it really is not. So perhaps there's still one more or two more slips or spills and twists in this tale as we enter the final quarter of the match. Kilby now. She's taking it off the defender. Hint of a foul, and it's a penalty kick awarded to Gorge FC. I've got to say, Katie, I was looking at that maybe the other way. Did Kilby perhaps foul the defender in order to win that ball to begin with? That's not how the referee's seen it. I'll admit she was much closer to the action than I was. And her decision was once Kilby won the ball, she was then the one who was fouled. So having won the penalty, it'll be Kilby to take it. And absolutely no mistake from Kilby. She sends the keeper the wrong way and calmly tucks it in to the far side.
Yeah, it did look like the defender did get her from the back on that one, but it was a good battle by the two of them just outside the box and taking her down inside.
I think you're right. That's why the referee's closer to the action than we were. It's the replay does show it looks like Kilby did win the ball fairly, and no doubt about it, the defender came through the back of her legs there. So it's all smiles for Gorge as Krautnauer is replaced and Liz Gregg will come back on. And that's got to hurt Coastal, who, as we were just talking about, seemed as though they were really coming on there, and a little bit against the play. One attack for Gorge, and it's a penalty kick.
They did. Coastal was doing well there. They had some opportunities. They had a little bit more of the play. That's put them back a bit.
Well, there's no tomorrow, though, so the final match of the season for both these teams. I'm sure Coastal will leave it all on the line here as they look to once again claw their way back into this match. And great joust there on the ball. Coastal comes away with it. This is Dinza. She's been lively since coming on, although not the greatest of crosses there. DeWitt. She's shifted out wide now with the return to the field of Gregg. So what do Coastal have here? 20 minutes to rescue this one. DeWitt. She'll win a throw-in. And you start to wonder now, Katie, if the sort of pedigree and the heart of the champion that Gorge has had all season in terms of winning a league title, winning a cup title. They're well in control of this one. 2 goals up with 20 minutes to play. You know, does Coastal have the ability to sort of unseed them when absolutely a fantastic season for Coastal, but not quite the same achievements as Gorge, as Coastal qualified for the Provincial Cup, having to win a play-in game to get here, and it's been a great run, but perhaps the clock is approaching midnight.
Yes, I did think Coastal did have good attack and a lot of the possession there right before the PK for Gorge. It's unfortunate for Coastal to have now be down 2 when they could have been possibly tying it up soon, but you know, there's still some time. If Coastal just keeps working hard and making the most out of these turnovers, then I think they can still get one back.
Shergill will get to work on doing that right now. It's a bit of a let-off there for the Gorge defenders, as they'll have a chance to move up the pitch with a free kick. It'll look long for Gregg. She flicks it on. DeWitt, maybe a little bit less interested than you would have thought there when she had a chance. But I think I maybe saw her signal to the bench for a sub, and Gorge does have someone up and ready to come on. So perhaps DeWitt just feeling it a little bit. Meanwhile, another decision for the referee to make there. She's given the foul. She's judged that it was outside the area. I think Coastal were hoping for a penalty of their own there, but they're going to have to settle for a free kick right on the edge. And as we got a look at that replay there, it did look like that was the correct decision. The foul was clearly outside the area. Just wonder if the referee had to let it go, if there was perhaps some additional contact by the keeper. It'll be Shergill to take the free kick. And she's hammered it high. And she's had a couple of those today, and I think a little bit of frustration from Shergill. So now we will have that change. It's Maddie Yakimovic coming on to replace DeWitt. So perhaps a bit of an injury coming into the game for DeWitt, as she came on at halftime, looked lively, had a couple of chances to score, but she's not going to be able to continue here.
Both teams have a young roster, and they're quite good with their club teams, with having their youth programs. So it's nice to see these young these young players come in and be able to play and work their way up through the youth program up to the senior. And that's like Maddie Yakimovic that just came in. I coached her back in the BC Summer Games in 2018, and she's a strong player, especially where they have her out playing on the wing. She's quite fast, quite speedy, and she can run forever. So Coastal will have to be careful on that left side.
And here's a chance for Yakimovic to get after it right now. The ball didn't quite come through to her, but Gorge now attacking in numbers. 5v3 here. Plenty to aim for if they get the ball in. It's a decent ball all the way through to Yakimovic. She's not been able to keep it in play, though. And that's that speed you were talking about on display for us straight away.
She's quite fast, yes, and especially when having Creighton out there in the second and now having in Maddie, Coastal will have to manage them wisely. Good defense there to win it back. That could have been a great opportunity for Gorge, but again, Coastal, good defense.
Yeah, certainly that had lights out written all over it as Chescu was just about caught in possession there, but was able to recover from her own mistake and spare her blushes. Gillings comes wide for Dinsda. And she's got the beating of one defender. How about a second? That looked like a fair challenge, but not in the mind of the referee. Instead, it'll be our second booking of the afternoon. This time it's Stenerson who finds her way into the referee's book.
Good opportunity for Coastal with a nice lay-in ball here. Let's hope someone can get on the end of it.
Be Gillings to take.
Great
Decent ball. That's into the mixer. It bounces around. Dinsda's got it. And a fantastic save by Blakely, getting down to her left sharply. That's what you need your number one goalkeeper to do. A good chance for Coastal. They did, as you said, make the most of that free kick opportunity. And in a 4-2 game, safe hands from the goalkeeper, Blakely. Greg. Neither team able to keep hold of it just at the moment there.
We'll see if the Coastal coach tries to change his formation here. I mean, they're down 15, or they're 15 minutes to go, down 2 goals. See if they can be a little bit more offensive here for that last final push.
And just as you say that, it does look like they are readying a substitution. We'll see if any tactical changes accompany it, perhaps taking off a defender or restructuring the midfield. It certainly appears to be a deep conversation there between the substitute preparing to come on. But here's Parmar looking for it. The flag's gone up. Not too many complaints there from Parmar.
Great opportunity there. I'd like them to use the wings more. They've been dominant out on those wings, and we haven't seen it, especially on that far side. Gorge did move Butler over to the right fullback, but I'd like to see them attack through with that cross in. That's where I've seen Coastal be dangerous.
So it's Yakusovich coming off. She'd come on partway through the first half to play at left back for Coastal. She'll be replaced by Isabel Aldis. And it doesn't look like a change in formation as Aldis slots right in at left back. So a like-for-like change. Meanwhile, Coastal have latched onto this free kick. Burgess. Shergill's got the pace. She's gotten around. Can she finish? You bet she can.
Great ball, great run. Wonderful finish.
And finally the finish that Shergill's been looking for. A couple of chances that she's been maybe a little bit overzealous with. Missing wide of the mark, but not this time. A sublime finish, cutting across onto her right foot and tucking it home. And how about this for entertainment, Katie? It's 4-3, 7 goals in this one.
Shergill's had a very strong second half here. She's had those opportunities, like you said. That one where she started off from the side, came into the middle, beautiful through ball, and we have ourselves a game.
So we're set up for a fantastic finish. Can Coastal get one more goal here to perhaps force us into an extra half hour of extra time? Or will Gorge be able to see this one out, or indeed perhaps kill it off with a further goal? Tell you what, how big is that save from Blakely for Gorge just a few moments ago on the free kick?
It was. She's been playing very strong back there. I mean, that play, she didn't really have too much on that goal. Sugargirl just, with her strength and her speed, waltzed right in there. Beautiful ball into her. But yes, goalkeepers on both sides have been playing strong.
Here come Gorge again. They've had an answer for everything today. Well, that's well defended by Gillings. Sugargirl for Parmar. And Burgess looks to be well offside. Flag will stay down though, as she wasn't involved in the play. It's with Sugargirl again. Looking for Gillings. And it's all hands to the pump here for Coastal as they start to throw everyone forward. Great turn by Dinza. Does she have the pace to catch up to it? She's well marshaled there. Good defending by Yakimovic. Showing off her speed at the other end of the pitch. Coastal can build again, and you can forgive Gorge a little bit if they've decided to sit a little deeper, a little defensively with 10 minutes to play and one hand on the trophy at the minute. The way this game's gone, though, I wouldn't bet against more goals. Dinsa. And it did look like a foul there by Sugargirl. So a little bit of respite for Gorge.
We haven't seen too much from Kiara Kilby in the second. They moved her up to more of an attacking midfield there in the center, which makes sense as they're up a few goals and she's quite strong, right? But we haven't seen that attack as much from Gorge on that left side and that right side as we did in the first half.
I think you make a great point there, Katie. The substitute Jauer, who's chasing the ball now, just hasn't quite had the same impact as Kilby did when she was out there in a wide position. And not that Kilby hasn't been involved, but certainly less time and space for her since she's moved into the middle of the park.
It is, I agree. And Jauer's quite fast. She's got the speed out there. I'd like to see her get a few more balls sent into her to see how much pace she does have, because she has Elise Butler back there now, right on the right. So that's quite a dynamic duo.
Ball into the area here for Gorge. And certainly when you talk about speed and possible attacking opportunities for Gorge, you wonder if the space is going to open up for them as Coastal maybe commit more and more bodies forward here in the final few minutes.
Absolutely, and I think Coastal just has to be aware of that if they do be a little bit more attacking, is watch those open gaps, because Gorge will attack if they have them.
The wrong end of the field from a Coastal perspective right now. Rowntree gets them going forward. That'll get through to Burgess.
Good bounce.
Great cutback by Burgess. She'll put it on her left and tries the long-range effort. Perhaps the better opportunity was to maybe play in a teammate there, but a strike on goal, you never know. Again, we've talked about the conditions today, and Blakely did spill one in the first few minutes of the match. No such danger on this occasion, though.
Burgess has been strong out there. She's got quick feet. She has a good cross in. But I agree, a little bit ambitious hitting it from out wide. But like you said, the conditions, the grass, it's a little bit bouncy out there, so you never know.
Greg now. Will she catch up to that one? Not quite. Sandu can get Coastal moving forward again. A little bit of a miscontrol there from Butler. She's hardly put a foot wrong today. And her teammates will be happy to bail her out on that occasion. No harm, no foul.
She's definitely had a strong game back there on defense.
This is Sugargirl. Well, that's well read by Tietzen. She's going to ask Jauer to go run for that, but a little bit too close to the keeper. Coastal have it back. A little bit loose out of the back, though. Jauer will get to that one. Good overlapping run. Gorge with a few to aim for. It's Kilby. Chance to kill it off. Oh, and a decisive intervention there from Moreno. Not for the first time today that she's come up with a big block when she's needed it.
She has. She's made a couple key blocks this match, especially in the first half with some header balls away. She's been playing well back there.
And Gorge still have it. Greg content to just keep it in the corner. She'll win a foul. In case right now where every time Gorge look at the clock, it must look like it's standing still, whereas for Coastal, I'm sure every time they take a peek, it looks as if it's moved about 10 minutes. So we'll have another change here for Gorge. Maya Lewis is going to get a run out here in the final few minutes. She's going to shore up the back line, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like she might be going into more of a holding mid position. We'll see off this kick where she ends up.
She's come in for Martland. Martland was playing as a fullback, so see if Lewis makes her way out there. Seems like she's relaying a message to some teammates right now about how the shape's going to be. In the meantime, ball into the middle for Gorge. Cleared, but only as far as Butler. And it'll be enough to win a foul, and this is perfect from a Gorge perspective. Run a little bit more time off the clock.
It is. Coastal's really got to try to defend this one well, get control of the ball, and work their way up the field, get those few chances, because they are running out of time, about 6 minutes left with extra time.
You wonder if Gorge is just going to try and keep this one short. They will. Oh, no, they did look to cross it in the end, and they've won themselves a corner kick. No hurry to take it for Greg, and you can understand that. Looks like Kilby's going to be the short option, and they keep it short for Greg. She'll get it back. Will she try one on the left foot from distance? She will. It's spilled. Yakimovic! And surely now, she's won it for Gorge. A 5th goal of the game for the team from the island. And with less than 5 minutes to go, is that the dagger?
Good play by Gorge off that cross. Looked like they were going to go short and kind of kill some time there, but the cross went over in. And nice for young Maddie Yakimovic to come on in and get that late goal to kind of seal the deal for Gorge. Unfortunate bounce off the goaltender or the goalkeeper to pass it right back to Maddie, and she was there to knock it in.
Indeed, a fantastic build-up by Gorge. They worked it short with Greg and Kilby before Greg decided to have a go from distance. Again, we've seen that. We've talked about that today. And finally, the conditions may be playing a role in Sandu not being able to hold on to it. Nonetheless, it was Yakimovic who was most alive to the rebound. She'll tuck that one in for a goal I'm sure she'll always remember, especially if they can hang on now. Coastal not giving this up, though. Burgess. And the ball stays in. This is Gabe Gillings on her left foot. Oh, and that was a crafty play there to maybe sneak one in at the short side.
Good chance by Gillings there, just outside the post, like he said, but it was a good opportunity. Let's see if they can hold him in here and get a few chances in the last few minutes.
Nothing to lose now for Coastal. They need 2 goals in quick succession. Get out for a Gorge throw and perhaps some discussion about who's going to take it. Or maybe a substitution. Anything to slow the clock down here. As we'll see Lily Ray shortly for the first time today, with Gorge really trying to get everybody a chance to say they were on a field for a Provincial Cup final. In the meantime, this is Yakimovic again, the latest goal scorer. Well defended by Coastal.
Coastal has played well this second half. They brought a bit more speed to the game for themselves. They've had those opportunities that they just weren't able to capitalize on those free kicks outside. Sure Girls had a good second half here, a couple balls a little high, but they definitely came together this second half as opposed to the first half, just unlucky with conceding a few goals.
So Ray is on for Jower. And Gorge happy to just keep the ball as far away from their goal as possible here. As we approach the 90th minute, we'll keep a keen out for the fourth official's board. See if we get a heads up on extra time as Kilby asks Greg to chase that one. She won't get there, but again, this is exactly where Gorge want to keep the ball.
Exactly. It was a good ball. It was a good idea. And like you said, it just kills some time for Gorge.
And we're into the 90th minute here as Gorge FC Team Sales, the champions of the Lower Island Women's Soccer Association, and as well as their domestic cup winners, lead 5-3 as they look to add the provincial Women's A Cup to their trophy case this season as well, and make it a perfect 3-for-3 for the Lower Island Women's Soccer Association this weekend in provincial cup finals. Yesterday it was the Cowichan Cougars winning the Women's B Classics Provincial Cup, as well as Gorge's B team winning the Open B Cup. And it looks like Gorge FC is poised to make it a third trophy heading back on the ferry. But does Coastal have anything to say about that here in the final moments? An offensive throw-in. We'll get a look at the board here from the fourth official. 2 minutes. 2 minutes is the decision for added time.
Gorge's coaches, Dave Dew and Patrick Ryan, have got to be proud of the team that they put out on the field today. They've coached a well game with the substitutions that they've made. They've really been key, and you can see all the time that they've put into it to practice to get the job done, and it shows with their undefeated season now coming in here, leading the game 5-3, coming back from that first goal deficit. They've coached a good game.
They can certainly taste it now. I'll let that one go out for a goal kick. And you have to think the celebrations are getting ready on the Gorge bench.
Coastal has played well too. They're missing a couple key players, but they got to be proud with how they played today.
And what a final we were treated to as well. Plenty of goals, plenty of action right from the first whistle. As you said, Coastal took that early lead. Gorge have been full value for it since then. And now it's in the hands of the referee. Everybody coming forward for Coastal here. They're not giving it up just yet. But that's safely into the arms of Blakely. No prizes for guessing where this one's going as she hammers it long. Greg puts it out for a throw, and is this going to be the last action of the match? Yes, it is. Congratulations to Gorge FC Team Sales, the 2022 Provincial Cup Women's A champions. And for the first time since 1995, the trophy is going back to the island. What a fantastic game we've had here today. 8 goals, split 5-3. It started off in the first half as Coastal took an early lead after 10 minutes through Parmar. Gorge were right up for it, answering immediately through Kilby. Just at the end of the first half, it was an opportunity for Gorge to extend their lead as Liz Gregg gave them a 2-1 lead to go into halftime with. In the second half, Gorge picked up right where they left off as Krautner, with a lovely piece of skill at the back post, made it 4-1. Coastal, however, had the answer, scoring again through Parmar. It was a penalty turned home by Kilby that made it 5-2 before Coastal pulling it back to 5-3 through Shergill, or rather 4-3 through Shergill, before Yakimovic, the second half substitute, scored the fifth to put this one out of reach and see Gorge FC crowned champions. Katie, your thoughts?
Yes, it was a very entertaining game. I mean, 5-3, lots of goals scored. We saw some good stuff out there. I think Gorge did keep most of the play during the full game. They were very hungry. They were hungry on the attack. They won those 50-50 balls. But Coastal, they didn't give up. They came back to get those 3 goals. And I think both teams should be very proud of themselves of how they played today.
Yes, it's always tough to lose a final, but if you're going to lose a final, I think Coastal can certainly keep their heads held high. As we said, it was a middling season for them. They've done incredibly well to get this far, and they certainly gave a fantastic account of themselves here in this final, taking the lead, hanging with Gorge every step of the way. But in the end, it is Gorge FC taking home the trophy, and we can only hope that the men's final coming up here at 3 o'clock can be just as entertaining. For now, though, I'm Tom Johnston for Katie Hamilton, saying thank you for joining us. Enjoy the trophy presentation, and congratulations to Gorge FC Team Sales, the 2022 Women's A BC Soccer Provincial Cup champions.
Before we hand out the gold medals, I would like to hand out today's match MVP. Today's match MVP will be at the MVP box, sponsored by BC Soccer later on this year at Whitecaps game. So today's MVP, congratulations, Kier Kilby. I try to keep it dry for you. Congratulations. And it's been a while since we've had an island team go to the Nationals, so congratulations, Gorge SC. Come get your gold medals.
What do you want? Where do you want me to go? Try to get your way. Pretty much like, you just need the first little bit and then I can hop in front, or? No, I mean, let's see if we can do
And one more time, congratulations to your 2022 USA Cup champions.